civilization, if you will, my side of the world. That didn't happen. We stopped. We were compliant. And we spent the rest of the day there. We had a few other people, that's another whole story, who were trapped there. But we were taken care of by a group of waitresses at that restaurant. For breakfast, we went back and finished breakfast. They gave us a whole new breakfast. Lunch, dinner, so we couldn't go anywhere. There was nowhere to go. And every year we go back to see those waitresses, somewhere around September 11th. No, I did not go flying today, at least in my airplane, to go see them because of the weather. But I will do that in the next week or so. They were our heroes for the day, those ladies. And we go back every year to make them understand how important they were to two fire service people who wanted to get back to their fire departments so that we could function. That's simple. A little more complex is an individual I would like to highlight for you who was a significant part of FDNY. And that's Father Michael Judge. I never met Father Michael Judge. I met several of his brothers in the priesthood. He's a Roman Catholic priest, a Franciscan, who actually began his holy career just up the road in Wilmington. If you remember, TWA Flight 800, when it went down, struck a little bit closer to home to this area, to the Chesapeake Bay area, because two residents just across the river were lost that day. Well, as the family went up to Long Island to be in the area of the loss of their loved ones, Father Michael Judge was there to console them. It's the type of individual he was. He was a chaplain in the New York City Fire Department. He wore the uniform. He didn't fight fire. He didn't put on breathing apparatus. He didn't drive fire engines or ladder trucks. He brought spiritual health to the fire department. Father Mike consoled the family from here in Maryland, and in fact, in October of 2001, was to come here and officiate at a wedding for one of the family members. And he did not make that, because he was lost on September 11th at the base of the Twin Towers as he knelt over a firefighter who was killed by a desperate individual who leapt to their fate. And as Father Mike knelt, debris fell upon him and he was killed. What is amazing, what is absolutely amazing, is the human outpouring that took place once the firefighters saw Father Mike. And they picked him up and they carried him through the area and went to the closest Catholic church, which was a few blocks away. And they laid Father Mike on the altar, and they knelt and they prayed. They were firefighters in full protective gear, filthy, and knowing that the world around them was literally crumbling. But he had that type of an impact on the fire department. Now there are some parallels that are real important when we look at the waitresses in Millville, New Jersey, and Father Michael Judge. Both of them do things quietly in the world around them every day. These ladies come to the same restaurant, they prepare and serve food, and they take care of their guests. Father Mike, amidst 12,000 uniformed members of the fire department in the city of New York, quietly moved through stations, officiated at events, provided counseling, and did so very quietly without a fuss. If we bring into our lives a third parallel, that is the volunteer fire service. and what it takes to create that fire service. It takes firefighters. It takes EMTs. And it takes those people who quietly work in our midst that don't get a whole lot of credit. Some people simply empty trash cans. Some keep our financial records. Some sit at board of directors meetings. Some wash cars or vehicles. Some simply sweep the floor. And they move about us unnoticed. Many times unnoticed until tragedy strikes, or as time goes on, they're just no longer there. What does that say to each one of us? Each one of us, as the pager sounds and the siren blows, we stand up and rededicate ourselves to protect our communities. Every time we respond, we climb on, and we go down the road to protect our friends, our neighbors, our families, and complete strangers. But we do the job. The job that's also done is that quiet work around the station, perhaps while you're out. The quiet people go about their business. But what's important is every time we return, every time we clear the call, before you leave the station, look to the people who came out. Look to the people who are around the fire station. Pick out one of them. Pick out two of them. And look them in the eye and say, thanks for coming out today. I appreciate it. Because to make the service successful, it takes all of us. Every single person. To me, it doesn't matter whether they come out for one call this month or 10 calls this month. They're coming out to provide a service. For us as a uniformed service, that brings us together as a family. Tragedies that took place in this country, at the Pentagon, in a field in Pennsylvania, and in New York City, brought the fire service, the police department, and all of the allied agencies together like we have never been brought together before. Do you know what happened after that? If you watch and you think about it, prior to 2001, on September 11th, firefighters didn't hug each other. Now you think about that. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm willing to listen. But since that time, it's common practice that we greet each other with a handshake and a tug and a hug. That's family. Introduce into the family the people who carry the torch. The people today who span this world wearing the colors of the United States and allow us to sleep in our beds every night. Those people right there. That brotherhood amongst all of us, and that's generic, amongst all of us exists today because in our lifetime we were violated in these United States. And we can't stand it. And that's what keeps each one of you today responding to your community, addressing its needs, providing that customer service, and going home to lay down in your home quietly and peacefully with your family, knowing in the back of your mind that there's gratitude. I want to extend my gratitude to each one of you. Whatever uniform you wear, for the job you do every single day, we are unlike any other group of people in the country. And you need to be thanked. That's important. All I ask is when you're thanked and someone thanks you, a little smile, a little nod of the head, and take it in your heart and rededicate yourself Why are they thanking me? I'm doing what I enjoy doing. Yes, you are. Protecting your fellow man. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.